Hello learners, in today's sessions we are going to discuss and learn about the emerging opportunities out of the evolving geospatial Indian ecosystem. As we have seen, the India over the year has developed a vibrant geospatial ecosystem, and this is resulting into an evolving geospatial knowledge ecosystem. What do you mean by geospatial knowledge ecosystem? The main pillars of the knowledge ecosystem, especially in the context of the geospatial ecosystems, are the geospatial science, the geospatial technology, the geospatial solutions and geospatial enterprises or entrepreneurship development. Now, the geospatial science, there is a huge opportunity to develop or contribute into the geospatial science development, the basic component of that and applied component of that. In our country, mostly we have contributed into the applied science development, but there is a huge requirement in terms of the basic science development for the geospatial science development. We need to develop an internationally recognized geospatial science and technology education program, where we can create researchers as well as the knowledge experts into this domain. Next important is in national geospatial technology development. If we look, the geospatial technology in India is mostly around 99% we import, but the aspirations what the geospatial National Geospatial Policy 2022 has given us, it needs India's own geospatial technology development capacity. That means, we must develop the geospatial technology which are needed not only in India, but also useful for the whole world. This has strong linkages with our geospatial science program. So, this is an opportunity of the indigenous geospatial technology development. Department of Science and Technology and Department of Space emphasizes on these 2 points of the geospatial science and geospatial technology development. Now, in the geospatial ecosystem development, we have crossed the proof of concept stage. Geospatial data information technology is an integrated part of the national socio-economic developmental processes. It is there to improve the efficiency and the speed of that processes. So, as a result of that, we must now be in a situations not only to develop the geospatial applications, but geospatial solutions, the solutions which can become a part of the business processes of the organizations involved in different areas of the socio-economic development. And the last most important component is in geospatial enterprise development. By definition, enterprise is a system where there is a relationship between an input and output, and by nature any enterprise is an efficient if output by input is always more than 1. Geospatial enterprise development has a huge potential in India, because in India geographically we are diverse, we have the manpower in terms of in youth, a huge youth, we have a demographic dividend in terms of that. Also, in terms of the geospatial knowledge, we have a history of that. So, all of these things should be converted into a vibrant geospatial enterprise development there, and which should have a linkage with our academia, with the industry. The distance between the academia and industry should be reduced, and the geospatial science conversions into the technology and its conversions into solutions for geospatial enterprise development should be there, and that is the context the capacity building should be a continuous part of this geospatial knowledge ecosystem development in the country. The core of this thing is the spatial thinking, and the spatial thinking should be promoted from the school level itself, because we must understand geospatial, though in our country the ecosystem has developed mostly because of our the strength in the satellite or the remote sensing program, then in our strength in terms of the computer or in strength of our mapping. But at the end of the day, geospatial is a part of our thinking processes. It is the spatial thinking processes. We have to therefore think that how the spatial thinking processes among the children, the youth can be developed. So, we need to develop courses which promotes the concepts of space, the tools of representations, the process of reasoning, where the spatial component can be integrated in that. The spatial thinking by nature, though it is a collection of cognitive skills, spatial thinking is basically related to the different part of our brain, which should be integrated, which study should be integrated into our geospatial science and the technology development. Then only we can develop the geospatial science to a new height. We can develop in geospatial technology which will be unique in the geospatial market at the global level. So, these are the opportunities, learners, you must think of and try to pursue these areas, so that we become the unique player at the global level. About the geospatial science program, as I was discussing about, the spatial thinking needs to be developed at a higher level. We need to develop the spatial physics, the mathematics, and integrate them into geospatial science, like geospatial statistics should be more and more integrated into. We need to develop the integrations of the thematic or the different applied sciences like geology, geography and the agriculture with the data science and the geospatial science, because that is a big gap like currently what we see. As we see, the core of the geospatial science, the GIS, the GPS, the geoinformatics, the remote sensing, photogrammetry, that should be component of the core fields, the adjunct fields, so that the geodesy can be strengthened into the country, the engineering geospatial can be an integrated part, also the imagery science can be an integrated part, and the data analytics should be an integrated part. This is a big requirement to bridge between the thematic different fields like engineering, the agriculture, the the hydrology, all along with the geospatial, core geospatial science and technological strength, so that we develop our capacity in terms of the geospatial analytics, the positionings and the GNSS, the earth observations and the scanning technologies. Each of these provides an opportunities in terms of the geospatial technology. If we look into the emerging geospatial technology trends here, on the left hand side you can see cloud, big data, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, augmented reality and the virtual reality, automations. On the right hand side you see the geospatial domains, the GNSS positioning, the spatial analytics, the earth observations, 3D scanning and the geospatial universe. So, these integrations of not only the thematic knowledge, but the knowledge of the on the left hand side, as you can see, the engineering development into the geospatial domain is another opportunity and the emerging requirement which the learners you must explore and take that as a part of your learning processes. In the context of the geospatial technology development, we must improve the economic value of the existing geospatial technology, and also we must develop the demand based futuristic geospatial technology. In this context, the Department of Science and Technology has come up with a strategy for the geospatial technology development. There are, in the short term, we need geospatial data capture and generating technology development, we need geospatial data processing technology like cloud computing, cyber GIS, big data analysis, analytics workflow integrations. There are SDI technology, spatial data infrastructure development technology, which integrates into different emerging area like geodesy, like 3D spatial data infrastructure, spatiotemporal data modeling, geospatial statistics, volunteer geography informations. Then in a midterm, we should look it into geospatial data capturing and technology like dual frequency receivers of GNSS, development of IRNSS compatible instrumentation for geospatial data management and technology, AI and deep learning, and software integrated in hardware, and real time data processing and feature extractions. And also the integrations of the geospatial technology with the other core technology like health technologies, biotechnology, nanotechnology, electronics, robotics and mechatronics. So, these are the huge opportunity which is in front of us, the emerging geospatial ecosystem provides. The way the future geography should be the taught and learned, there is a time that it needs to be rethinked and relooked into. The geography is becoming more and more as an integrating science in the context of geospatial ecosystem development. So, in long term, geospatial data capture and gathering should explore the robotics data acquisition system, research on unexplored wavelength. As you can see here, basically in the context of the geospatial, we have explored the visible part of the electromagnetic spectrum, but the other part also needs to be explored, and there is a huge opportunity for the research in that directions. So, if we look into the future roadmap for the geospatial data, we need new technique, we need developing approaches for the new knowledge generations, representations of the geospatial informations in a new way, linked geospatial data, spatial data fusions. These are the new ways to look into, and this is not only, I again reiterate, this is not only for the computer science people to explore it, this needs to be integrated into the thematic science, the students also. This provides a huge requirement for the geospatial capacity building. The crux is that we need more and more geospatial experts. At the same time, we should also expand the bottom of the pyramid by the more and more the geospatial workforce in terms of survey, mapping and the GIS operators. The Department of Science and Technology has 3 types of the training program for that way, that there are 21-day summer winter schools in geospatial science and technology as a level 1, which is basically for the people who are interested to know about the more of the geospatial science and technology and its utilizations, and this is also equivalent to the UGC capacity building courses, and also then 21-day specialized courses which is called level 2, which is focused in a particular thematic area like water, energy, biodiversity, health, and 3-day geo innovations challenges. We need to harness our own innovation or the thinking, so that we identify that which are the areas of the geo innovations we must invest into for the different research and development. And the figure shows that how India's geospatial domestic market is positioned to grow. This provides the opportunity for you, the learners, to be a partner or to be a part of it, which will have an enterprise on the geospatial enterprise development. As you can see, the promoting technology innovations adoption, industrial development, skill development, technology, geospatial technology parks, and Government of India is working on that, where the private sectors along that with the academia should take part, and we must break the barriers between the academia, industry and the private sectors as well as the civil society, because geospatial has the potential to be the backbone of the socio-economic development and the nation building itself. So, learners, what we have discussed today, if we summarize them, we find that the India's emerging geospatial ecosystem provides the opportunities in terms of an geospatial knowledge ecosystem development, and especially with our history of geospatial, the data and information usage, we must now delve into and strengthen our geospatial science development, new geospatial technology development, developing the pathway of geospatial solution and the geospatial enterprise, that ecosystem development. More and more capacity building and interactions between the the computer science, the data science, along with these different thematic areas, in order to strengthen both the sides, and ultimately the geospatial startup ecosystem development, which is based on the knowledge. I think these are the areas in which you, the learners, more and more take part and take the advantage of the emerging and the evolving geospatial ecosystem in the country. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.